town back in 1961 as a science teacher down at the local school. But he didn't like the job, only lasted 2 terms. Only did it because his father made him. But in the 1960s, Barry started the Coromandel Art Cooperative, and he would have artists and potters come to stay with him from all over the world. He used to have a little house down the road. So back in 73, Barry sold his house. He bought this 60-acre block of land. All that was on it was a cowshed, close to where the station is now. And it was in the cowshed where Barry used to produce his pottery. He started to build the railway just to get clay from the bottom of the hill, take it back to the cowshed pottery. The track should have been just 300 metres long, never meant to carry the paying public. But Barry kept laying the track, and in 1990, his local BNZ bank manager in town reminded Barry he had a bank loan and he wasn't paying it off. So it's the bank's idea, we open to the public, charge you $5, bring you up to the double-decker bridge. That was the end of the line back in 90. We carried 1,500 passengers in our first year. Last year we carried 50,000 passengers. Barry put the final piece of track down below us in 2001, and to celebrate, paid the bank off at the same time. Now sadly Barry died last January, and just a few days later, in his coffin, we put him on the train, we brought him up here to the Eiffel Tower, Barry's last train journey. Then we took him back down the hill, buried him at the side of the track. And he was 80 when he died. We'll point this out to you when we go back down.
Thank you, mate. Leaving Eiffel Station. Right, sitting back with Julia. Now, a couple of, about a week ago, we had a bit of a wind, the one still was very wrong from the south.